Dave McMenamin, ESPN. Larry, what changed, or what was the biggest thing that changed from the way you gave up so many points in the second quarter to that third quarter defense and beyond?
It was just our defensive effort. Went into halftime and talked about, just our effort. It wasn't there that first half. Usually we would go in at halftime and we watch clips of some of the things that we did the first half, but I told the guys there's no need to watch that, because we're not putting forth the effort. And until we decide to put forth the effort, this is what's going to happen. We give up almost 80 points in a half. And we come out the second half and we start playing with a little bit more energy, start playing with a little bit more intensity. Defensively, we started kind of getting after them a little bit. I believe they only scored 50 points in the second half. So clearly it was our defense that sparked everything, and then we made some timely shots.
We're good, yeah. Larry, Tony Zorella, Cleveland 19. Obviously, a game in March probably won't mean anything in May if you guys were to meet them. But is this an important win? I mean, did your guys, considering everything they've been through, have to be reminded they can beat the top seed in the East?
Well, yes, it's a very important win. Especially because we're shorthanded. We don't have our full squad yet. We still need, we got key pieces out, and this Toronto team, as I stated earlier, they're a good ball club, and they've had a phenomenal year. So it was important for us to, not even just win, but come out and play well and compete. And when you look at what we did the second half, I'm most proud of the fact that we got a little bit grimier in the second half than we did the first half, but. From a win standpoint, yes, it's a nice win for us. But that Toronto team, as I mentioned before, they're a good team. They're a good team, and I see why they've had the success that they've had, because they've got some really good pieces with both Lowry and DeRozan, and now their bench is really been a spark plug for them. It's a big win for us to come back the way we did.
Spencer Davies, Basketball Insiders. With George, it seems like it's been kind of up and down for him in the offense, finding his role and stuff like that. Tonight, he really put the ball on the floor and went to attack, and it opened up the outside game. Do you think that it was because he was playing off ball, or what do you think the mentality was there?
No, I don't know if it was because he was playing off the ball, but it's something that he and I have talked about. George is kind of that company guy that wants to do everything the right way. And as I told him, I totally get that. But, with this club, we need him to be aggressive. We need him to really look to get downhill on pick and rolls. If he has an open shot, we need him to take it. In transition, don't be passive. Attack the basket. And I thought tonight he was very aggressive, and it got him going. You can kind of see he had a little more bounce, in his step when he got to the rim on the one he dunked one. He didn't hesitate to take the three ball, and that's just how we need him to play.
How do you think Kevin Love's return kind of helps him too in the offense too?
George Hill?
Yes.
Oh, it helps him big time. I mean, he's a with Kevin, you have another guy that can shoot the ball from the outside, but you also have another guy that can post the ball. You get that other offensive weapon who's a good passer as well. One thing about our club, we do share the basketball. But certainly, yeah, I think Kevin being back helps everybody. Yeah.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Larry, when was the decision made to put the size of Jeff Green on DeMar DeRozan, and how do you think that played into DeMar being 6 of 15 from the field?
Well, DeRozan is such a tough guard, first of all, and a smaller guy, he can just back in and shoot it over him. You have a chance with the bigger guy on him, a taller guy on him, but that guy has to be he has to be long and he has to be athletic, and he has to be smart because DeRozan has multiple ways of scoring. He's really good on the pump fake, with something which we talked about before the game. But with a guy like DeRozan, all you can do is just try to make it tough for him. Just keep him in front of you and try to get a hand up on the shot, and that's all we told Jeff. If he drove it, we would try to give him some help. But the main thing was just to try to stay between he and the basket. And that's basically what all it was. We threw some other guys on him. And I think with a guy like DeRozan, you got to give him different looks. It can't be the same guy the whole game, or he'll figure it out sooner or later. But for the most part, I thought we did a pretty good job on him.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. By my quick count, LeBron scored or assisted on 80 points tonight, and 0 turnovers. We ask all the time, he's playing out of his mind, but just what did you think of the way he played tonight?
Oh, it's just, I've never seen anything like it, to be perfectly honest with you. 17 assists, 35 points, and no turnovers. It's just amazing at what he does night in and night out. How he sustains it, it's just mind-boggling, and he's just one of those. He's just one of those guys. He, first of all, he is so driven to win and to be the best, and what he brings for us. It's just you can't describe it, but he is the guy we know that we go through and depend on a lot, and we need him to to bring the other guys along, which he has done. But it just seems like every night, the things that he do, I sit over there and just kind of shake my head, and I'm just glad that I'm coaching him. Yeah.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. There was a game around this time last year in a kind of similar situation in terms of standings and what had been going on with you guys, where you went to Boston and pounded them. Mm-hmm. And it kind of set the tone or sent a message for playoffs and kind of who's boss. Tonight you had like half your team, so it was going to be a tougher game. But LeBron comes out and does what he does. Do you think he had that mindset or that intent of sending that similar message that just you have to get by me to get to the finals?
I don't know what Bron might have been thinking, but I always say that there is one game during the season that changes your team. That game can be early, it can be midway, it can be late, but there's always one game that kind of changes your team, the mindset. And I really believe tonight's game might have done that for us, particularly because we, number one, we're shorthanded. Number two, we played a really good basketball team. And then the fact that we came down from a deficit, which very few teams do against this team. I know the start of the third quarter, I know with LeBron, I could see that he was going to take it to another gear, or he was going to take it to another level. I could kind of see that in his eyes, and we got off to a great start in that third quarter, and it wasn't the offense. It was we got defensive stops, and we built off that, and you can kind of see as the game kind of went on, he just kind of took it upon himself and started making more plays, and made a tremendous find on Kevin towards the end there in the corner for the 3-point shot. So Bron is just he's that guy that when things seem a little bleak, he's the guy that can get you over that hump. And tonight, boy, he certainly did that for us.
Larry Fred McLeod, Fox Sports Ohio. Has it always been your philosophy with the 3-point game to foul intentionally? I thought we don't see it a lot.
Yeah. No, we it's something, and our players were so right. A decision was made to foul, but we fouled too soon. Okay, we fouled way too soon. They took the ball out in the backcourt. We wanted to use up a little bit more clock in the backcourt, but it didn't happen. No, we fouled way too soon in that situation. And it was just one of those things. We learn from that. But yeah, that is a philosophy that I've used before. Tonight, it was not executed very well. But just one of those things that again we'll learn from, and we'll be better at it.
If I can follow up, though, why do you think most coaches don't? And it seems like it's a pretty smart play.
I think most coaches, it's just been my experience with coaches that I've been with and around, and I guess a lot of them like to just trust in their defense.
Mm-hmm.
They feel that their defense is just good enough to get that one stop that they need. But I've seen strange things happen in that situation, and I mean you can play Monday night quarterback and say, well, I should have done it this way or whatever. But I think from a strategic standpoint, I think it's a great thing to do. I think you have to know exactly how to, when to, because you got players today, like playing against a Toronto team with the DeRozan and with a Kyle Lowry. They are so good at drawing the fouls. I mean, I've actually lost a game where we were supposed to foul and we fouled, but it was in the act of shooting, and the guy banked the shot in and then made the free throw, So I think it's a good thing to use, but you just have to be smart in how to do it and when to do it. Okay.